Welcome to Offensive, where we only watch last-second comebacks. We don't got time for nothing else. You got to have heartbreak. We need heart medication. We need some Pepto-Bismol. Like the NFL football games are like literally you can't just breathe. Dave is doing his yard work during Sunday half the time, and he should be thankful, Dave, that you're spared from this insanity. We have all these games this weekend, and I barely remember any of them because I'm like purposefully blocking my memory of like how many times we have to come back after playing terrible and not just the Packers. Lots of teams are doing it. It's like
my favorite was
league.
My favorite was getting the text from you. It was about halfway through the fourth quarter of the Broncos-Giants game, and you tried trolling me because I traded Dak Prescott away last week.
You're insane.
Bo Nix and Ramondre Stevenson, because my number 2 running back had no touchdown potential, whatever. I just needed, even if he's a fall into the end zone, he at least had that potential. And then by the time I turned on the game, I see that Bo Nix had 40 points for me.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. You can't talk trash in the NFL now because 5 minutes later, your team will score 30 points and completely turn it around.
Seriously, he trades Dak, who's like QB1, for Bo Nix, who looked like literally should be out of the league.
The second biggest comeback in the history of the NFL.
And Bo Nix has the best quarterback game of the weekend. Like, what the hell happened?
In one quarter. 33 points in one quarter is the second most of all time.
Yeah, I think he had all maybe like 11
Dave.
Fantasy points before that quarter total, like 11, and then all of a sudden he's got.
This is how the NFL fantasy works. It's all about karma. Like you'd think one thing's gonna happen. Nope.
Dude, what an absolute mess.
I mean, ask Kyler Murray how he's doing.
Hey man, you know what? I think he'd do fine in San Francisco.
That's right.
He can't see over the offensive lineman there either.
I don't think it would matter. Honestly, I don't think it would matter. I also don't think it would matter if Tua played in San Francisco either, because, talk about a bad quarterback weekend. So let's get into it. Okay. So the London game, I picked the Jaguars, and holy crap, that was a mistake because they didn't show up to London. They were in Brussels or somewhere else because
they're still on vacation. Yeah.
The Rams torched them. They absolutely torched them.
That was interesting because 2 weeks ago we were saying, okay, after they beat the Chiefs, are they finally leveling up? This is finally what we're going to see from Trevor? Then he has a tough one against Seattle. They had all the pressure. Just like, okay, now we get to find out where are you really in the hierarchy? The Rams had a little bit of struggle earlier on, and they didn't have Puka, and Stafford just says it doesn't matter. They just stomped on them. First 2 drives for the Rams, they went down, they got touchdowns. First 2 drives for the Jags, they went 3 and out. It was never even close. And it even got to the point where the Jags were threatening to score with about 2 minutes left in the game. And they're rushing to get the ball down the field. Even though they're down 21-0, they wanted to give Matthew Stafford as much time as possible to respond. And the clock, how they managed the clock, the play calling, everything else when they got down there just looked awful. And then they didn't even get any points. And then the Rams took mercy on them because they're like, we're going to get the ball to begin the second half. We don't need to go up 28-0. So Stafford completed passes to 10 guys, found Devontae Adams when it counted for 3 touchdowns. 5. He
is legit, man. He's making plays, one-handed catches, like good wide receiver play from him. I knew the second the Rams got him, I was like, I'm so set for fantasy because Puka will get hurt and then he'll get a 3-touchdown game just like this.
Dude, seriously, Stafford picks his guy and he just throws to that guy and it worked again.
What I mean? No, but this time he threw it to 10 different guys caught passes from him.
That's true.
And they have a bye next. They had a bye next week, which is National Tight End Day. So he got it out and he got completions to 3 different tight ends in honor of that.
Well, how about that?
But still, he went to Devontae in a lot of those situations, like the red zone, which you should. That's the one thing about like Jordan Love. I'm like, go to your guys that are going to make a play. Go to Kraft. Throw Jacobs in the flats. Like if you're Stafford and you're just throwing a Devontae in red zone all the time, good because he made big plays for them, and it's fun to watch.
Yeah, no, the Rams look pretty dangerous. Their defense looks really good, and the Jaguars, I still don't know what they are, but. This was a butt whipping.
I'll tell you right now, Travis Hunter's grades and analytics are terrible, at least at wide receiver. Like he is really bad. How? I don't know. Like he has all the talent in the world, but I guess he just doesn't have the instincts to play wide receiver in the NFL.
Well, I think he'll get there eventually, but
He might
He's on-
have a big turnaround, you know.
8 catches on 14 targets, 101 yards, and a tutty. A lot of that was in garbage time, though, and you could see
Yeah.
that you could see that he only played on offense because their defense was terrible. Honestly, if you want to have the Jags have any sort of open competition, just have them play on defense. I know watching that game, Brian Thomas Jr. He had a lot of the alligator arms again. He was dropping passes. He was looking afraid.
Yeah.
The Jags, their other
Hurt too.
slot receiver that they had, he had 10 targets on the game, and his average air target was 20 yards downfield. And don't get me wrong, he's not a bad slot receiver. He's not a bad wide receiver 3 or 4 option. But when you have Travis Hunter and Brian Thomas, why are you wasting all those targets deep downfield to a nobody when you have 2 known studs? So it's a lot of the play design doesn't really seem to make sense in Jacksonville.
Well, it's also an international game, which is just weird. Sometimes there's always like 1 or 2 blowouts in international games, and the Jags tend to be on the receiving end of that at times. But all right, we talked enough about that game. We'll get to Bears and Saints later. Just know everybody that Caleb Williams was awful in this game, but the Bears still won. So
He played down to his competition a little bit.
he just played down to himself. But yeah, let's get to Carolina Jets. Now the Jets defense actually showed up again for the second week in a row, but they lost again. And Andy Dalton had to come in and do Andy Dalton things, which was be very mediocre and just uninspiring. But hey, you know what? Carolina got the win. Carolina's 4-3, guys. Okay, so they're looking, they're going in the right direction. Now in the NFC, they're like probably 10th for playoffs right now because everybody seems to have a winning record or a terrible record in the NFC. But yeah, so not a really exciting game. The Panthers didn't look good. Dave's former boyfriend Justin Fields got benched finally, like you were calling for. He finally got benched. Tyrod Taylor came in and looked just as bad. So
he didn't have anyone to throw to with Garrett Wilson being out. Your best option is Taylor, the tight end.
Yeah, well, he could have done anything. He didn't do much anything. So
yeah.
The Jets are the Jets. The only thing that's interesting to me now is, does Aaron Glenn make it through the season? Because I feel like if they get to 0-10 or 0-11, I don't know if they cut bait or not, but I feel like it might happen.
He's going to go back to being a D coordinator.
Yeah. Do you guys think they'll keep? Let's say the Jets go 1-15, or let's say the Jets go 0-13. They don't win their first 13 games, which is very plausible. Do you think he keeps his job the whole year and they give him a second year, or do you think they cut bait on him if he can't win?
This is like the worst Jets team ever. I just don't know how I think at the end of the season they're going to get rid of him.
Yeah.
If you're a head coaching candidate, do you want to go to a team that has no problem firing your head coach in the first or second year? There's no stability there. And that's part of the problem because they fired Saleh so quickly. I saw the Athletic.
They fired him middle of season, right?
Yeah, in the middle of his second season.
Yeah.
The Athletic had a pretty good article the other day where they're talking about how no matter what happens, there's a lot of parallels between what's going on now and what Aaron Glenn had seen back when he was with the Lions when they started building up from the beginning, because he was there with Dan Campbell in the beginning. So a lot of, as far as the winnings, how they're losing, the stats for the defense, there's a lot of direct parallels to it. So it laid it up pretty good how Woody Johnson has to realize, okay, it is what it is. We have to give somebody time to try to build something. So I think even if they went 1-16, I think he'd still be there.
Interesting. I don't know. I mean, the Jets make no sense. So I think they'll do whatever makes the least amount of sense. So that's just my prediction, and I'll probably do that.
Speaking of doesn't make sense, you want to talk about them Eagles?
Dude, what? So Jalen Hurts was 5 for 5 on deep passes in this game. He hadn't hit one like all year. And then he goes to the Vikings and he's just hitting deep passes all day. Again, the Vikings have a hole in their defense. It's the secondary, especially those safeties. You can attack them deep. I think the Eagles finally figured that out. They pulled this one out. Carson Wentz didn't look great, but the Eagles are the worst deep passing team in the league before this game, guys. Like seriously. And then they just 5 for 5 for Jalen Hurts. That pass to Devontae Smith was beautiful too, by the way. So attack the Vikings deep, everybody. I know they got a good defense. I know they blitz a lot, but chuck that ball up there because they are vulnerable in certain areas. So smart move by the Eagles. Saquon again didn't do a whole lot.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to do a whole lot, but the Philadelphia Eagles pulled it out, and this kind of makes me worried because now they're getting AJ Brown and Devonta Smith involved, and Hurts might get on a roll because I think he's a little bit streaky as well. So when the
Get
Eagles,
their confidence up.
yeah, when the Eagles can throw the ball, they're a lot more dangerous. So
They still, I mean, I was telling Dave before the show, I don't really believe in PFF ratings, but it's hard to find better. What are we going to do though? Like we have to talk about something, right? Eagles don't grade very well, and the only players that really graded decently on their offense was like the wide receivers because all those deep passes, right? So like, I think this could maybe go in a good direction for them, and they could play better. And their defense isn't really that great either. Like Carson, this is the thing. They kind of just scraped by beating Carson Wentz, and Carson Wentz was complete trash this game. Like he was
not good.
I think his PFF grade was like a 20 out of 100 or something.
Yeah, he was not good, and they still put up 22 points. Now they did get some garbage time points, but still, like the Eagles don't look like the dominant force they were last year. But they're still 5-2.
Right.
Like if you're not playing well and you're 5-2, we'll get to another team that I don't think is playing well. That's also got a winning record. Like if you win, you win. That's kind of like in the NFL this year.
Now is got to be. It's like going through the mud. Like as long as you can get a win, just get it.
Just get it. Fine. Yep. Just get it. Fight for it. Bite for it. Get the kneecaps. Yeah. It don't got to look pretty. Just get wins and try to get out healthy.
Like pretty points and playing well means more. But right now, you just got to win.
Speaking of a team that doesn't know how to win, go ahead, Dave.
Oh no, I was just going to say, do you think that this is the year that Devonta Smith is finally overtaking the AJ Brown?
No.
Because let's see, against the Rams, he caught 8 of 9 targets for 60 yards a tutty. 2 weeks later versus Denver, 8 of 10 for 114 yards. Yesterday, 9 of 11 for 183 yards in a tutty. So he's getting a lot. He's getting a lot of targets,
right. And I think
he's catching them. He's connecting with the quarterback, unlike AJ Brown, he hasn't been that.
No, and I think that's why AJ Brown's frustrated. We all know AJ Brown, I think right now is a better receiver than Devonta Smith. And that's no shade on Devonta. He's fantastic. But AJ Brown's just a different animal. And he is one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. So I don't blame him for being upset that he's not getting fed the ball because he should be fed the ball. And that's on the Eagles offense. So no, AJ Brown's a better player. So they're making a mistake by not giving him the ball. Go ahead, Doug.
I'm going to say Devonta Smith is now the leader of the clubhouse only because Fat Dan offered me him in a trade, and I said no, and now it's like my karma is coming back to me.
Yeah, you should have taken him.
I should have taken the trade. Literally, he goes off for like 150 yards and a touchdown.
Dude, seriously. All right, well, let's talk about a team that doesn't know what winning looks like. That's the Oakland Raiders, and what an absolute
I picked them to be the dark horse for the Super Bowl, and they're out doing a great job this year.
Dude. Yeah, I mean, Geno looks like he shouldn't play another game this year.
Does he throw more picks than touchdowns at this point? I mean,
I think it's one more. I think he's got one more pick than touchdown. It's close. I don't even care to look it up. I don't even care. Geno
watching the game is not fun in any way. It's just
I feel bad for Raider fans, and like Geno should not play another snap the rest of this year. Maybe, I mean, they probably shouldn't have hired Pete Carroll. I mean, he's hitting a century before you know it. So, like, I mean, I don't know what the Raiders.
What's their plan at quarterback if Geno isn't good?
Kenny Pickett.
Anyone else?
Kenny Pickett.
He's the backup.
Jacoby Brissett. Can they trade for Jacoby?
So Kenny Pickett, people make a lot of fun of his small hands. I just want to let you guys know the first snap he took, he fumbled it because it hit those tiny hands. So like, poor Kenny Pickett, man. He'll never escape it. He'll never escape it. All right, here's some fun facts. Dave brought this up earlier. The Raiders had 30 offensive plays. The Kansas City Chiefs had 30 first downs in this game. Andy Reid has been a coach for, I believe it is 18 seasons, and his team has never had a shutout until yesterday.
Wow.
This is the first shutout in the history of Andy Reid's career. That's how crap the Oakland Raiders are. They are literally
all because we picked Brock Bowers #1 in our draft.
The steaming garbage of the Raiders is so hot it's affecting the ozone layer.
It's just Chip Kelly being Chip Kelly, and they draft the running back in the first round, and I think he had 4 touches in the first half.
Dude, I'm saying,
they get them out of there. Like, yeah, you don't have Jacoby playing, you don't have Bowers playing. Oh yeah, let's not use our dynamic running back. Let's just try to prove how smart Chip Kelly can be. They got to get rid of Chip Kelly first and foremost.
And that's back-to-back games with the. Go ahead.
Yeah, get an NFL offensive coordinator in there.
Yeah,
Just
I mean, the Raiders, I don't even know what they're doing. But that's back-to-back games where Kansas City's put up 30 on offense. Their offense looks good again. So now Kansas City's back to being scary after looking kind of crappy to start the year. But again, it's the end of the year when you got to worry about Kansas City, not the beginning of the year.
They literally
So-
scheduled this on purpose. The NFL is totally scripted. They're like, we're going to allow you to play the Raiders and all these crappy teams in a row, and then you can just get back into.
Well, they did it to the Lions, who just, put it to the Buccaneers. So
oh,
like,
it's
I'll
true.
give
They
them
also
credit.
beat the
But
Lions.
it's also at home. Kansas City's also always way better offensively at home, usually.
Well, they also did it for the Bears. So there's gonna be all the hype when we win 6 in a row against really crappy teams.
I don't know if you guys will win 6, but you will. I think you will win a lot of those games. But we'll get to the Bears later and how their way of winning is maybe unsustainable. But we'll find out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So let's go to New England. 5-2, New England. Vrabel turned this around like that. I mean, damn, that did not take long at all. And they did what you're supposed to do to Tennessee. Tennessee was in the game for about, 14, 15 minutes, right? They gave it their best, with their new coach. But, New England took care of business as they've been doing all year. I think people are overlooking New England because they've been kind of like less dramatically winning. The Bills game, obviously, I think some people took notice, but I think they've been a little bit less dramatic in some of their wins. But they're 5-2 as well. Like they are right there. They have a better record than Kansas City right now. So,
well, shoot, Drake May set the Patriots record for 91% completion percentage.
That's nice.
Crazy.
So now, he went 21-23 on the season, 1,700 passing yards, 12 tutties, 2 interceptions.
Yeah,
He's been pretty good.
That is pretty amazing. So
He's
as much as we love,
QBR.
What's that?
Is he in like 5th in QBR? Like he's pretty high.
He's up there.
4. I think he's 4 right now.
I believe he's 4. But that's one thing where I'd love to slam Josh McDaniels. He's a terrible coach, terrible head coach. But for some reason, when he's in New England, he's able to make everything all better. So
yeah. And for the Titans, you guys are trying. You're having a tough year. I know it's hard being a Titans fan, but at least you're not a Raiders fan or a fan of these next two dumpster fires. Oh my God, Miami. Oh my God, Miami. I mean, Cleveland. Dude, Cleveland's Cleveland. Like, they're going to win some games. They got a good defense, but Miami is absolutely just disgusting this year. Their fans are done. Everyone's so upset. Mikey Flavors, I love you, man, but the team's done. I am surprised Mike McDaniels has a job still today. I am absolutely surprised.
Yeah, he's got to be dealing on the side to the owners or something, or like.
Well, they just signed him to a contract extension in 2024 that takes him through 2028. So I think the owner might. And this is the thing, too. If I'm the owner, Dave, we were talking about this before. Like, the Dolphins roster is such trash, and Tua's done. Tua's completely toast, right? Until he goes to play for Shanahan in San Francisco, and he'll look amazing, right? But he's so done that maybe the owner's like, hey, let's be as bad as we can this year. Get a good quarterback, get a new coach, kind of start over next year. Because this Dolphins team is just absolutely awful.
Yeah, maybe they want to lose all the games and get a top 2 pick or whatever.
Dude, and Tua, talk about karma. Tua did apologize for his comments, by the way. So we talked about it on the last show where Tua kind of called out his teammates. We didn't like it. He apologized, but then he went out and put out literally maybe the worst quarterback performance I've seen in years. It was so terrible. It was terrible. I've seen Brock Osweiler look better than that. Like, it was bad, dude. He didn't know where he was going. He was just chucking it up. He was throwing it right to the Browns on a couple occasions. Like, it was just off. And Tua is known for his accuracy. I think he was just 100% rattled. He's not there anymore. I think Tua's better than Kyler Murray, but I think Tua and Kyler Murray both need to be on new teams next year. And they need to work out a way to restructure their contract or do something or trade them. Maybe trade them for each other.
I think they're backup quarterbacks is what they are. I don't think they're starters.
I think Tua has the potential to be a starter.
If you have a really good O-line, yes. But the thing is, he can't do off-platform throws. If he doesn't have a perfect whatever, no, he can't.
He would be fantastic in the Shanahan system. Like 1-2 throw, 1-2 throw it to CMC, throw it to CMC, throw it out left. Like, he could do that. He could definitely do that, right? But yeah, I don't know, man. Tua looks really bad.
He's a $67 million cap hit if they cut him after June 1st next year.
The Dolphins are so screwed.
They're so screwed. Man.
But they can also get rid of a certain Tyreek Hill, and then that'll make it actually manageable. They'll still be able to be under the cap if they do those two things.
And I think Nick Chubb's contract will come off the books next year as well. Because did they cut Chubb, or is he still on the roster? Because he's costing them like almost $30 million.
Oh yeah, Bradley Chubb's on the roster.
Bradley Chubb. Sorry, Nick Chubb. Did not mean that. Your brother. Bradley Chubb's still on the roster.
Yeah,
he's
Chubb's still on the roster.
Yeah,
And
but if they cut him, I think they don't have a huge salary cap hit either.
And honestly, at this point, they just got to tear it down to the studs because
rebuild.
Honestly, they don't have any studs on this team.
No,
that's kind of the
like,
problem
dude, I would trade Jaden Waddle this year for a second round and a third round pick. I think he's worth a second and a third. Well, maybe that's a lot. Second and a fourth. I'd trade Jalen Waddle. Cut Tyreek Hill. Get rid of Tua. Like, just the Dolphins are in the place now where they tried. They got close a couple years ago. They were decent, and then this roster is just bad. Everyone that they're paying a lot of money is bad. You have to get rid of them all of them. So
GM, everybody gone.
Yeah, 100%, all of it to the studs, like you said, to the studs. All right, now a franchise that looks like it's going in the right direction. Indianapolis absolutely looks unstoppable. 6-1. Jonathan Taylor, league MVP. Jonathan Taylor is so good right now. He's leading the league in yards per carry, and rushing touchdowns. And the Colts defense looks good, and Daniel Jones looks okay. Doug, why don't you tell us how good Daniel Jones looks?
Well, I say nice things about the Colts, A, because I love Jonathan Taylor, and B, because Dave was such a big proponent of them in the early season.
He was.
We laughed at him. We laughed him out the door. Like, Dave, you can't even talk to us right now because of this. And then Dave reminds us every day. He's like, remember, I believed in the Colts. And we're like, yes.
We all had our darlings. Doug's was the Raiders. Ouch.
Yeah.
Mine was the Panthers.
I had to pick someone.
Yeah. Mine was the Panthers and a little bit the Seahawks, but mostly the Panthers. But Dave's was the Colts, which is by far and away the best.
Seahawks would have been the smart one.
Yeah, by far and away the best pick of like our, Cinderella darlings. And
there's supposed to be teams that you just didn't think really could do anything but might surprise, right?
Right. Yeah.
But that's the Colts are the perfect example of that.
So good. I mean, the Colts just every single game, the Colts kind of do the same things and nobody stops them. Like, nobody can stop them. They're just really efficient.
They're relentless.
They don't get in their own way. They don't make mistakes. They make big plays on offense. And even when they have mistakes, like they get holding calls back or whatever, and it's just, they just do a really, really good job of taking care of the small things, and really a lot of credit to them right now. They look really good. All right, so let's talk about a team that doesn't take care of anything apparently, and that's the New York Giants, because it was 25-8 with 5 minutes left on the clock, and my boy Jackson Dart, who's getting me all kinds of fantasy points, still love him. He makes a really bad throw. I agree, it's all his fault. He shouldn't have thrown that. Denver gets an interception. It kind of turns the game around, right? They really should have been running the ball there anyway. But then the Giants go down and score another touchdown. And then Denver gets another touchdown, and then they punt it, and then Denver gets another touchdown, and then or the field goal or whatever to win. So it's like, dude, the Giants defense has a lot of talent on it. The fact that you gave up all those touchdowns in the fourth quarter is really, really bad. I don't even know what Giants fans feel this morning. I don't even know how you could feel.
It was the second worst defensive performance in a quarter ever.
Wow.
I mean, as far as points go, given up.
And again, a lot of things went Denver's way. Bo Nix did play well at the end. Dave got a ton of fantasy points on it. But holy crap, did Denver look awful up until the fourth quarter. This a little bit reminds me, guys, of the Bears-Vikings game.
Yes, J.J. McCarthy. Yep.
Right? With J.J. McCarthy just all of a sudden knew what he was doing. And I'm not saying Bo Nix is as bad as J.J. McCarthy. I'm just saying Bo Nix looked like he didn't know what to do with the ball for 3 quarters. And then all of a sudden it all just worked and he was hitting guys. And a couple of those passes, it looks like he just chucked it up, and Denver just happened to be there.
Yeah.
It didn't even look like he was throwing it to
One
a
of the
guy.
passes in the end zone
Yeah.
was just
It was almost like destiny. It was just going to happen. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't expect Bo Nix to get you number 1 fantasy points next week, Dave. That's all I'm saying. So,
No,
what if he does this every week? I don't know.
yeah.
No, one of my favorite Giants fans out there does the drawplay.com.
Yeah.
It's a weekly comic where he hits it up like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Strangely, he didn't post anything today.
Oh, poor guy.
Oh,
It's
Normal-
it probably hurts so bad, you know. It probably hurts so bad. All right, dude. I mean, Doug, what's Denver radio saying these days? Do they think that Bo Nix is the reincarnation of Jeebus?
Look,
Or like, what's
Denver
going
is
on?
the place of all places that loves their quarterbacks, even more than people
Yeah.
loved Brett Favre in Green Bay. Like they put out billboards for Tim Tebow all over the city. You know what I'm saying? Like they just out of their own hardware earned money for Tim
I know
Tebow.
a lot of Broncos fans who still say John Elway's the best quarterback that ever lived. And I'm like, bro, no.
Yeah, like Stink, their offensive lineman guy that's like the all-pro Hall of Famer.
Slura.
He says that he's Elway's better than Mahomes and stuff, you know, whatever. But
I mean,
he was
I don't like
he was his
Mahomes,
offensive
but-
lineman, so like that's okay for him to say.
He kind of has to, but I don't know. Denver's just like that.
He's a cool guy. I like Stink, but like, okay, so what Denver people are saying here is that Sean Payton's kind of failing the team a little bit, and Bo Nix is trying to like pull him over the top. They like getting behind the quarterback, especially when you have a late game comeback when he's kind of making plays and stuff. Like they think Bo Nix is kind of like actually like saving them a little bit, and Sean Payton's kind of like not figuring things out so much.
Interesting.
That's what they and the thing is, Denver radio is a lot of really good, like smart guys and a lot of ex-players.
Yeah.
Brandon Stokely and these guys that played with like Manning and stuff. And so not everyone says the same thing, but it's just like the general vibe I think that they're feeling. And also they want to believe in Bo Nix because preseason everyone was so pumped about him. You know what I mean? You already kind of have that built in.
Yeah. Fair enough. Well, good job to Denver getting really lucky. And you know what, Giants? This is good for you in the long run because you're going to get rid of Dable, which really you guys have to get rid of Dable.
Yes.
You're going to bring in Robert Saleh at the end of the year, and he's going to totally change your
defense.
franchise. And we'll get to that. We'll also get to the Packers and Cardinals here in a minute because, man, I have a lot to say about this game. But I will say this. The Cowboys offense is basically unstoppable. The Cowboys offense is basically unstoppable. The Bears did hold them to under 20 points, but there was a lot of turnovers in that game. So like there was one good game by the Bears defense against the Cowboys. So I'll give the Bears credit, but the Cowboys have just looked completely unstoppable, and 44 points. It looked easy. Washington's defense does not look very good. That they're 3-4. We kind of called this. We all said we thought Washington was going to take a step back. They absolutely have 3-4. I mean, they're not looking too good. Jaden Daniels has not had the same magic. They're missing their running backs. They're 23rd now in overall defense, where they were like near top 10 last year. So yeah.
What did they do in the preseason? They had their stud aging wide receiver hold out for money because they didn't want to pay him. What happens when you don't pay your wide receiver? They don't get the reps in the preseason. They come in, they're out of sync, and then a lot of times they get hurt because their bodies aren't in football shape. That's what happened here. Terry McLaurin, he's been out most of the season. Your other wide receiver is Deebo Samuel, who's looked amazing, but again, he's old.
And he always gets hurt.
Exactly.
Always.
It's his style has been fantastic. It's been fun to watch. So now you're relying on Zach Ertz. Oh, fortunately, he's young. Oh, wait, no, he's like 40.
Yeah.
Zach Ertz is 45 years
No,
old.
the Commanders are the oldest team in the league, guys. Like I expected them to have more of a falling off like weeks 12 through like 17, not by week 7. Like they're already injured. They already look slow. Like I think the Commanders are in for a rough season, man, because I think they're going to be in games, but like they just got dominated by the Cowboys in this game. And 3-1, the Cowboys to me are like a team you don't want to play because they could beat anybody. I feel like the Cowboys could beat the Chiefs or lose by 30 to the Chiefs. Like I feel like I don't even know what the Cowboys are. They're just so crazy.
They're like the Rams from last year. They're
a little
an explosive offense, and you just don't really know, except the Rams had people on defense. But yeah, and I'm not saying that they're going to make the playoffs, but if they did, I wouldn't want to face them in the first round.
That's what I'm saying. Like I would not want to play the Cowboys in the first round. The second round I would, because they always lose that game. But the first round, definitely not. So, all right, let's go to the next game. And this is what I really wanted to harp on, because I said Atlanta was going to dominate the running game. Fred Warner was out. And then Robert Saleh just was like, no, I don't care who's in there. I got this game plan. We're going to stop the run. We're going to let Michael Penix beat us. And that's what they did. They totally bottled up the Atlanta Falcons running game. And the 49ers defensive line dominated that game. They absolutely dominated that game. They were flying to the ball. Robert Saleh figured it out. Robert Saleh proved that he might be the best defensive coordinator in the NFL, and I hate that he's on the 49ers again. So please, somebody give him a coaching job. Come on. Give him a coaching job. Somebody, please. Dolphins, anybody, please. Like, get him out of San Francisco. He's such a good defensive coordinator. He absolutely outmanned Atlanta's offensive line with rookies and guys. No Joey Bosa. No Fred Warner.
Should go the Arizona Cardinals. What if they actually had a good defense?
No, we'll get to that, dude. We'll get to that because I don't think the Arizona Cardinals coach is getting enough credit. I know they have a terrible record, but anyway, we'll get to that later.
They just need defense.
Mac Jones had an absolutely horrific game, and he got all his stats came from dumping it. No, he did because he had one pick, and he had 174 yards, like 90 of which were dump offs to Christian McCaffrey. Yeah, so he literally had like 90 passing yards and an interception in that game. So he did not look good either. The Falcons defense was not terrible.
But I think a big part of the game plan was, okay, let's just run it now that we actually have. And it's weird how now that we have our tight end back, now all of a sudden we're going to be able to run.
Right.
But Kittle is one of the best blocking tight ends out there. He is dangerous because you don't really know how to block because he's dynamic coming out, catching it and whatnot. So it might just cause a little bit of a delay for the linebackers over on that side. So they kind of have to shade him. Maybe that just gets CMC a little bit more time, but
right.
Yeah, it just seemed like, okay, we had the two most interesting running backs in the league. Let's just prove that ours is better than yours.
So the 49ers had 315 yards and CMC had 204.
Yeah.
So it was all CMC. All of it was CMC.
But that's smart.
Yeah.
Give him the ball a day.
I agree. But, Mac Jones did come into the game averaging the most passing yards per player since he had started, right? So, Falcons defense wasn't bad. CMC just gets you sometimes. Bijan gets you sometimes, right? In this game, CMC had the advantage. They had a better game plan. And the 49ers defense was just better. The 49ers defense was better, but the Falcons defense was good in this game. So I still think the Falcons are going to win a lot of games and they're going to dominate the run. I just did not expect the Niners without Fred Warner or Joey Bosa to be this good on defense. Somebody give Robert Saleh a goddamn job already. Get him out of there.
The Niners used to do back when they had a really good defense. It didn't matter. They could have the whole team hurt and play all the backups and they would still cream you.
No, seriously, the 49ers, again, 5-2, almost a quiet 5-2 because some of their games are ugly and they beat some bad teams. But the 49ers are going to be up there for the number 1 seed. So, all right. So that's games of the week. Let's go to the next thing and we'll talk about